Hi guys, I'm LaShonda, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. Go ahead and hit that little subscribe button so you guys will never miss an upload from me. If you guys are not new here, welcome back, dolls. Today's video is going to be on foundations. So I'm not going to do a long intro. Let's just jump right into the video because this may be kind of lengthy. So the first thing I want to address about foundations is when you see a lot of the makeup gurus on your phone, on your computer, it may look like you guys are the same shade, but in reality, you're probably not the same shade as the makeup guru, because you have to keep in mind that we have all of these lightings that helps, you guys see us a little bit clearer, but in real life, we're probably going to look a little bit darker or lighter than what you would see on your YouTube screen. So let me just address that and get that out the way, because I'm going to go over my foundation collection and the shades that I use. So don't be alarmed if you pick up a foundation and you're like, oh, well, LaShonda, I thought you said that color was, my color and we're the same color. No, honey, sometimes the lighting will throw all of that out. So just keep in mind the best way to match your foundation is to go into a probably like a place like Sephora or Ulta, where they actually have people on the floor that can help you or assist you in matching your shades. Keep in mind that if you want to match your foundation, it's best to match it on your chest or on your neck. So when I'm looking for a foundation, I always go straight to my neck because I want it to match here. So that's the best way I can tell you how to match it. Like if you go into a drugstore, it may be a little bit difficult. I'm not going to tell y'all to open the stuff and swatch it on the back of your hand and neck, but honey, sometimes I open that stuff, especially if I know I'm possibly going to buy it. If it's the correct shade, I'll swatch it. But even if you swatch it on the back of your hand, like as you can see here, my hand may be a little bit darker than my face. So that's why I don't really swatch it on the back of my hand, because sometimes I have bought foundation and it wasn't the right color. And I know when it disappeared on my hand, I thought that was it. No, let it disappear on your neck or on your chest. The first foundation that I'm going to go over is Maybelline's Better Skin Foundation. This is a really good foundation, but what I did notice that I'm always probably in between shades, so I always have to mix the shades to get the right consistency. I do mix Golden Honey number 93 and Almond and 94. I just kind of mix these two together to get the perfect consistency and shade for me. It has kind of like a moussey consistency when I put it on. I am a matte girl, and keep in mind that a lot of these foundations that I'm going to go over today are based off my skin complexion, my skin tone, because I have an oily skin type. I really get really oily here in my T-zone. I live here in Mississippi, so it's a lot muggy and humid here. So when I'm shopping for a foundation, I'm shopping for a matte foundation, and these are kind of on the matte feel. I want to say it's light to medium coverage. It can be full coverage if you build it. If you build and build, it can definitely be full coverage. The con that I have to these is the longevity. I work in a dental office and I'm always wearing a mask on my face, and so I rub off half of my makeup throughout the day. So I'm always looking for something that will withstand that mask or will give me long hours of wear time. This, I may say, by the time I get off of work after wearing that mask, this whole half of my face is gone. So that's why I don't really pick up this much often, but I will use it a lot in my makeup tutorials. The next foundation I'm going to talk about is L'Oreal's True Match. This is also a good foundation, but for me it's not matte enough. Now you can use a lot of mattifying primers to help make your foundation stay matte a little bit longer, but like I said, I'm super oily, so I need a matte foundation and a matte primer. This one was not matte enough for me. It has a beautiful finish, and I really love the way it sinks into the skin and looks like skin. This is a really great drugstore foundation. In this shade, I am Classic Tan. It says in 7, which N always means neutral. So if you go somewhere like MAC or something like that and it says N, that means neutral. Or if it says C, that means cool. If it says warm, that just means, I mean W, that just means it's warm. So I'm kind of, I would say I'm a little bit on the neutral cool side than I am the warm side. Warmer foundations tend to make me look a little bit orange, and I don't really like that. So, but this one is in neutral. It's a very good foundation. It is buildable coverage. You can go, I would say this is a light to medium, because I notice I have to correct a lot to hide things with this if I'm going to use this foundation. So it's not a full coverage foundation. I'm more of a full coverage girl, so you can already know if I pick this foundation up, it's not for me to be wearing long. It's maybe just to run to the grocery store, run here and back. But yeah, this is a very good drugstore foundation as well. Next in my collection is the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. This foundation is a really good foundation. Out of all of my drugstore foundations, this is my second pick of foundations that I would like to wear. It is more of like a watery feel, but it is medium to light coverage, definitely buildable. I also have to correct with this as well if I want to hide any like blemishes. And this is not my color. This one is in coconut, and the other shade that I wear, which is my shade, especially in the winter months, is toffee. This is a very, very, very good drugstore foundation. I do recommend this if you're looking for a foundation. They have not that many shades for women of color, but I think it's kind of true to your skin tone for women of color. So if you're a little bit darker than me, try coconut. And I think they had one after this. I'm not for sure, but I'll be sure to make sure I list all of these foundations, where you can get them, and like links so you can look at the prices and things like that before you go to the drugstore and pick it up. My next foundation I'm going to talk about is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Matte. Baby, when I say matte, I really mean matte. Like, I am a oily girl, and if a foundation is too matte on me, that means that foundation is pretty matte, because I can get really oily. So when I wear this, I just kind of have to switch up my primer and my setting spray routine, because it will get super matte if I use my matte spray, or it would get super matte if I use my Becca primer that's like super matte. So what I like to do with this is use more of a water-based primer with this, and maybe something that's hydrating to the face as far as a setting spray. The Infallible True Match is in the shade, I kind of mix this too sometimes, but if I had to just go alone, I would definitely go with the Soft Sable 111 is my shade. I would mix it sometimes with the Classic Tan number 109, and these two together, perfect for me. You guys know I'm always mixing some ish, so this is just another foundation that I had to mix. I don't think there's ever been a foundation that I could just wear alone and I never want to mix. Maybe more in the cooler months I won't have to mix it, but definitely in the summer months I'm mixing probably all of my foundations. This foundation is very full coverage, and honey, I tell you, it will cover anything. You don't even really have to correct with this because it hides everything. It's a very full coverage foundation, very matte foundation. So if you're looking for something to keep you matte, this is the way to go. But if you are super dry skin, do not buy these. I'm telling you, do not, because dry skin people, baby, you will be looking super dry, okay? So only pick this up if you have problems being super oily like I do. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on into more of the higher end foundations. These foundations run anywhere from $25 and up. The first foundation I want to talk about is a MAC foundation. Mostly in MAC, I'm in the color NC45, but sometimes, like I said, I have to mix, so I'll mix a little bit with the NC50 just to kind of match my skin a little bit more, especially if I'm going to be highlighting. I don't want to be too light. So, but all of my concealers, everything. NC45 matches my skin tone. This is the Studio Fix by MAC. This foundation is a very, very full coverage foundation. So if you're looking for like cake face, like I just want to be beat to the guys, honey, this is the foundation that is perfect for you. The only thing that I hate about this foundation is it is too heavy, and I feel like it's not breathable. I feel like I can just feel it on my skin, and I feel like it's just suffocating me or something, you know. It also is so heavy that it kind of clogs my pores and causes breakouts to my skin. My clients was also telling me that it was breaking their skin out as well, so I stopped using it altogether. But it is a great foundation that looks very well in photos and things like that. This is a very good foundation. MAC also has quite a few others, but I think after I had the experience with this, I just kind of strayed away from MAC foundations, and I never really bought anymore, so I don't really have any more of the MAC foundations in my collection. But like I said, this is a very full coverage. NC45 is my shade in MAC foundations. The next foundation I'm going to talk about is Makeup Forever HD foundation. I'm in the shade 175, and I also feel like I have to kind of mix this and play with this to get the correct tone. Sometimes it can be a little bit too orangey, so I will add something else to kind of lighten it down just a little bit. But this foundation is a good foundation for pictures, I hear, but I just know when I use it, it looks very good when I first put it on, but I do notice that throughout the day I get super oily. It just slides and moves around. I can set this with powders. No matter what I try to do to make it matte, this stuff is still gets oily on me throughout the day. So I don't gravitate to this foundation that often, but like I said, when I'm doing tutorials, I do try to switch it up and use other things, because there may be people out there who are not, you know, oily like I am. So I try to use other foundations. So this is a good foundation for me to film with when I'm doing my YouTube videos. It is a light to medium coverage, not very full. When I use this, I definitely have to color correct to hide any scars that I have. But I do see a lot of people on YouTube use this foundation, but me, nah, not so much for me. I can definitely pass on this foundation. The next foundation that I'm going to talk about is Born This Way foundation. This is a very, very good foundation. However, it is water-based. So anytime it's water-based, you guys know I'm matte, so it kind of gets a little bit oily on me throughout the day. So I don't gravitate to this one as well. This is another one that I will just film with, but however, it looks so flawless when you apply. This is a great foundation, especially if you're not oily. I wish I wasn't so freaking oily, because this foundation looks really good. The shade is pretty good. The shade in this, I am Maple, so I really don't even have to mix this foundation when I'm using it. So that was a big plus for me. I really thought I had a keeper when I had this, but I just noticed halfway through the day I look like a grease ball when I use this stuff. So, and I think that's because it is a water-based foundation. It kind of sets kind of like a matte at first, but like I said, as you go throughout the day, that water starts to come through, and I just don't gravitate to this one as much. But it is a great foundation if you're looking for something that won't look really dry on the skin and looks more like skin. This is a very good foundation. The next foundation I'm going to talk about is my Estee Lauder foundation. This is a freaking phenomenal foundation. Like, this is bae. Like, I really like this foundation. The only thing that makes me not use this as much, they have so many shades, but every single shade is off on me. Every single shade. Everything I try, it just doesn't match. I always have to highlight heavier or highlight darker, you know, to get the foundation to work for me. And I hate a foundation that you have to do so much to get to work for your skin tone. I don't think it's, you know, anyone else. I just think it's me when it comes to this foundation, because a lot of people love this foundation. This is a great foundation. I just wish that they would have a perfect match for my skin tone. This is in the shade Rich Ginger. I can use this foundation more in my winter months because it's more on the lighter side. everything else that was darker, it was a little too warm for me, and everything just turned out looking really orangey. So I didn't really gravitate to using this that much, because even with this one, this shade, I still feel like when I take pictures later on, when I look at it throughout the day, it does still kind of turn a little bit orangey on me. But this coverage is full, it's great, it's matte, it lasts so freaking long. It is a great price range. I want to say it's like $27 or something like that for it to be a high-end foundation. This is a very good foundation. If you're looking for a high-end, I strongly suggest you guys go into your dealers or wherever they sell Estee Lauder and get someone to see if they can match your skin tone. It's definitely worth having this foundation in your foundation collection. The foundation I'm going to talk about is Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. This is another great foundation that I feel like the shades in me is kind of off. Y'all know I always have to match some stuff. I really freaking hate having to buy two foundations, especially when they're expensive, and then I have to spend $50 on this and then $50 on this. That's almost $100 freaking dollars on foundations. I don't want to have to spend that much money on a foundation, so sometimes I'll just mix it with another foundation that I already have in my collection to get it to match my skin tone. Kat Von D is a very heavy matte foundation. I really like this foundation as far as keeping all my oils in, helping me stay matte. The only thing I do not like about it is the longevity on it. To me, I feel like it rubs off easy, and I like a foundation to just stay put. Like, I don't like to have to touch up my makeup throughout the day like 2 and 3 times. Usually when I do my makeup in the morning, I just want to leave it and not touch it anymore. I don't like to blot. I just don't want to do anything to it. Once I spend a whole freaking hour on my face, I feel like that should be good enough to last me throughout the day, at least a good 5 to 6 hours until I get back home or whatnot. I am in the color Deep 71 in this shade. This one was the one that was closest to my shade. I want to say this one matches me more in my winter months. In my summer months, it's kind of a little too light, so I don't gravitate to this one as much. Very full coverage. No medium, nothing, straight full matte coverage. So if you're a little bit, dry skinned, this is not the foundation for you. This next foundation that I'm going to talk about is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet. I'm in the shade 175. Foundation is very matte. I really like this foundation. I haven't been using this foundation long. I just recently picked this foundation up. I am wearing this foundation today. I wore it to work today. I've been trying it throughout the week, and I haven't had a long run to really give like a full review on if I love it yet or not, because sometimes I love a foundation for about a week or two, and then after that I just be like, no, it don't work. I'm going back to my Revlon Colorstay. I can't stay away from the Revlon Colorstay, but I heard that this foundation in the Revlon Colorstay is a dupe. I hear that if you want a low brand, then you pick the Revlon Colorstay, but if you want the higher brand, the Matte Velvet is more of a dupe for this foundation. This foundation, it's kind of creamy. It's not really moussey or anything like that. I don't really use any like stick foundations. I use stick foundations to contour with, but not just really wear, because they always seem to like break down on me, and because my skin is too oily. I don't really wear any powder foundations because powder foundations seem to just wear off too quick. It just don't give me the longevity that I'm looking for, so I always stick to a liquid foundation. But like I said, this foundation I'm wearing today, it's a very full coverage foundation. It does disguise and hide very well. It does seem to have longevity. Now, what I will say, I did use this for work the other day, and I noticed that it did start to kind of come off on me around my mouth area because I wear a mask. So I just know to kind of be a little bit more gentle when I wear this to work. But as far as coverage, everything is looking pretty good. I'm rooting for this foundation, so I'm hoping that this foundation pulls out for me very well. Like, my last foundation is so babe. Like, you guys probably see me use my last foundation in every single freaking tutorial. I wear it every day. I use it on my clients. It is not a high-end one. I saved this one for last because it is just, it's babe. Like, it's nowhere around this. Like, Revlon Colorstay is like oh my god, like everything to me. Like, this foundation does every single thing I needed to do to work for my skin tone. I love the fact that it has, like, if you have oily skin, you would try the combination to oily. If you have dry skin, you would try the normal to dry. But I love that they have like the same shade, just for different skin types. They have so many different skin tones of foundation. I will say, if you're a little darker than I am, the foundations kind of start to get a little bit off because they start to get more on the warmer side, being a little bit orangey. But that's okay. If you know how to work it, it works perfect. I use it on all of my clients. What I will do is I will add a little bit of one of the other to mix it in with each other, and it gets the perfect consistency. I have trained myself and learned how to make it work with my concealers and my bronzers. So I just know, like, this is like everything. When I tell you it lasts all day, like I told you, I am a dental assistant, so I wear a mask on my face daily. And when I tell you that I can put this mask on 100 times a day, take it off 100 times a day, when I leave at the end of the day, it is like still put. That's why I say I freaking love this foundation. It is everything to me. Love that it has so many different shade ranges for my Caucasian women all the way to my dark skinned babies. I love it. Some people say they don't like it because the shades are a little bit orangey and off, but hey, I know how to make it work. This is everything. When it says 24 hours, honey, I guarantee you, you're probably going to get close to 24 hours out of this. I have slept in this and had to go somewhere the next morning. I just touched it up with a little powder, baby. I was still good to go. So I tell you, it lasts just about 24 hours like it says, and it does everything it needs to do, especially when I pair this with a matte primer and a matte spray. Oh girl, my face be like so freaking beat. I be like flawless like all day. So I love this foundation. Like, I picked this foundation out of all the foundations that I own, high end, low end. This is my favorite foundation. So if you're looking for a great drugstore foundation that's under like, what, I think $10, this run like $9.99 for this foundation, then this is definitely one that you should try to pick up in your collection. I am in the shade 400 Caramel in this, and in my winter months I'm still caramel. My darker months I still can get away with being caramel, but sometimes I will mix it with just a smidget of the cappuccino shade just to kind of, you know, make it a little bit warmer because the sun has made my skin tone a little bit darker. So this is a great foundation. You guys should definitely check this foundation out. Well, I also would say about foundations, sometimes you just have to know how to make them work for you. Meaning some different primers, some different sprays, like I said, make them work a little bit better. When I apply my foundation, I kind of stipple, like to take a brush and just kind of stipple the foundation in, because when you kind of stipple it in, you kind of place the foundation where you want it, versus if you rub it. If you rub the foundation, it's like you putting it on and wiping it right back off. So when I apply my foundation, I do like to kind of pat it in, especially towards the end, to give me that flawless airbrush finish look. That's all I have for you guys for the foundations today. I hope you guys found this video very helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment down in the comment section below. I will try to make sure I find links to all these foundations in case you want a little bit more information on them. And yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it. So I thank you guys so much for watching. If you like it, thumbs it up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out, and I will catch all of you dolls in my next video. Bye, dolls.